I posted a video recently talking about this meme and how it was disingenuous at best. What I shouldn't have done is talk about motivation behind why people share it. That's always sticky and motivation can be incredibly varied, so painting them with a wide brush wasn't fair. But the fact remains that it's a ridiculous notion to link a budget proposal for fiscal responsibility to the Christian right and the Ten Commandments. I looked even deeper into this issue and found that the reason this even came up is because of a proposal by some Republicans to reduce the federal funding for school lunch program. Not cancel it, but reduce funding so that the states have a larger burden financially. Why? Well, that's interesting and lends to why so many people falsely think that there is a push by Republicans, whom they conflate with Christians, to cancel lunches for school children. I had to go through more than 10 articles on a Google search that claimed Republicans were canceling school lunches before I could even find one that approached the why behind their proposal. And it was pretty simple. The school lunch program is more than $2 billion over budget and full of fraud. By putting more responsibility on the individual states to manage the funds, the hope is that fraud will be reduced by tightening up the purse strings. It's similar to teaching your kids responsibility by making them pay for their own stuff out of their own allowance. Big deal? I don't think so. Now, on the state end, many states have rejected federal funding because of the strings that come along with it. By accepting federal money, they are then beholden to federal rules about things totally unrelated to school lunches. It's similar to not wanting to live in your parents' house because you are then beholden to their rules. But somehow this got turned into Republicans want to cancel lunch for poor kids, which then got turned into they want to put the Ten Commandments in the classes more than they want to feed children. None of that is true. And in some states, the opposite is true. It's a false dichotomy and a political tactic to tribalize people against each other. So, I'll be really careful assigning psychological motivation behind why people share false information. I'll do my best to simply point it out and let people think about why they were apt to share it. I'll leave it to you to think about what motivates people to share things that later turn out to be false. I'll leave it to you to think about how we should react if and when we find out they were false. Do we double down or take a breath and fix ourselves? It's not